Nashville's number one for all the hits. It's Hot 106.7. You're on air with Eryn, joined with the incredible Garrett Adair. Hello.
What's up, Eryn? How you doing?
So good. I always enjoy the pleasure of having a local artist in the studio because even though we're in Music City, a lot of times the people who come through don't actually live here, but you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like people think of Music City as country, but there's a lot of other genres out there, so I'm excited to be on like the actual like pop hits channel, which is awesome.
Yes, and of course we are celebrating the release of your incredible new song, Stars.
That's right.
Yes, and we'll get to the music video in a second because that's a whole other story. But the basis of this song is something that many people our age have to deal with, especially with the capabilities we have of being able to communicate with people across the country, across the world. It's about the right person, wrong place, wrong time. Is that right?
Totally. It's like, I just felt like when I went to college, there was so many people that once they graduated, they got that job out in Nashville or that job out in New York, and they're from Alabama. And it's like, are we going to make this work, or is the, long distance going to break us? And I just felt like the cool thing with the song, like it references New York and LA, and those are just like the two most like West and East Coast cities of the country. But it's kind of a metaphor for like, doesn't matter which city you're in. It's like, if I was in this city, would you still love me? And so it's kind of just this like, are we going to make it, or is distance just going to be the reason we fall apart? No other reason too. You could be completely compatible. It's just, is long distance going to be the reason?
Now, my roommate challenges me with this perspective all the time, and I don't want to believe it, but as an expert in this topic, since you wrote such a phenomenal song about it, she claims it's not the right person if it's the wrong time and the wrong place. How do you feel about that? Do you think she's right, or are you like, no?
It's so hard because there's like, there's those people that like, I have a close friend out in Dallas where like, get this, he went to Detroit, she went to Ireland.
Okay.
They made that, yeah. They made that work for a year, and then she went back to Dallas, or no, she was in Oklahoma. He stayed in Detroit. Then she went up to Detroit, and they finally met back together. And this was like 2 years of long distance, and now they're engaged, and they're going to get married next year. So I truly think like, and this is kind of what the music video talks about, is like, there was people back in World War II, like they signed up for war because of Pearl Harbor, and they went overseas, and they had to leave the love of their life behind. And it's like, well, if you can still stay together after war, like you can make anything work. So the optimist in me is like, I think you can work it out if they're the right person. But if distance is a good, and this is actually what that couple told me. They're like, all right, the distance actually was challenging for us, but it proved that we were meant to be together because we pushed through it. So sometimes distance is a good thing. Kind of proves to you.
Tying it all up in a bow right there. Sometimes distance is a good thing. I like that. So the story that you tell in that song, it's more of like an overarching concept that we just talked about. But now the music video is a story within that story that is actually a real story based on your great-grandfather?
Not mine, the director's great-grandfather.
Hello, over there.
Yeah, so he's here right now in studio, and we're just really close friends, and we were going through, like, He did this music video with me, and we put the song in my living room, and he just walked around the living room and was like, wait a second, what if we took it to a different level? Because when people think a long distance, they think, right, after college, got a job, let's be in different cities. He's like, yeah, well, people 60, 70 years ago had to go like to Germany, had to go to Korea, had to go to Vietnam. Like my grandfather was a Vietnam vet. So it's like they had to go overseas and make it work, and they were in war. So, we just kind of expanded on the idea of distance, and that's why. And like, if the music video, you want it to be fun and exciting and a crazy story, and if you're talking about maybe a high school relationship, it's like kind of intense. But if you're talking about like war, it's just so much more emotional. So anyway,
it was your director over there who said that if the video isn't going to be meaningful, then what's the point? Well, it was really meaningful. I'll tell you that much. I think, the Oscars missed a nomination with this. Seriously.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
It is seriously so incredible. 53 people on that crew for that video.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to be fair, like so many of them did it just out of the kindness of their heart. So his name's Josh Gicker. That's the director over here. He had his parents actually in it, like cameo in it. So they flew up here to be in it.
Oh my gosh.
Luke, the guy that I wrote the song with, he's right over here as well.
Yeah.
He was in it. We enlisted, fake enlisted in the music video. But like, I just think that the cool thing that we're doing with these music videos is we're making memories with it too. So you can watch it 20, 30 years from now and you're like, hey, I'm with my friends in this music video, rather than just, paying a bunch of random extras to kind of show up. So it was that 53, I would say 20 of those people just came out because they wanted to, which was awesome. So, wow. Yeah.
So obviously it seems like this was the first project to this scale that you have been a part of as an artist. Is that right?
Totally. We did a music video last year with one of my songs, more upbeat song.
Right.
But that song was just kind of talking about how like these phones are just so distracting sometimes that it distracts us from the really, literally, hey, what's up? Like from the relationships that we're in. Because it's like, oh, this is the relationship I'm in, but this screen over here, it gives me more options. And so anyway, we did that. And I would say that's kind of that was like our get our feet wet project.
Sure.
And then once we felt confident in that, we're like, all right, let's take it to the next level and really go all in on this one, Stars.
A mover, a groover, and a shaker. And 11 singles last year, if I remember?
Yeah, 11.
Wow,
yeah,
basically one a month. Okay.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is I didn't start putting music out till May 20th. So I only had...
Oh my gosh.
But like, I was like, well, once I get started, because it took me a while to get, like, I had a whole nother past life before music. I never thought this would be my thing.
Right.
And so it took me a while to get things started. But once we started putting out music, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to put out as much as I can.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy is like the life I was in before, we had product on shelf and it expired. Music doesn't expire. It actually should get better with age. So anyway, I'm really excited to put music out regardless of what happens to it, because you never know with TikTok, whatever, 3-4 years from now, it just pops off for no reason. And if it's not out there, you don't know if it's going to do that.
Exactly. I mean, we're playing songs that came out in, 2017, 18, 19 that are just now blowing up, which I don't think the industry has really ever seen something like that before in pop. Yeah.
So there's no expiration. It's like, just put it out and you never know when it'll pop off. No idea.
Now, you mentioned your past life. From what I've read about you, you were at a party, performed a song, and you were like, well, this is my life now. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I had not. So like I started writing music at 15, and then, 10 years later, I started like actually showing people at restaurants in Dallas.
Yeah.
And then a few years after that, I went to Atlanta, and I just was at this house party, and I started playing like some Shawn Mendes and some John Mayer. And then I was like, all right, let's see if I can sneak one of my songs in. And I played a song, and they're like, who was that? And I was like, that was me. And they're like, no way. And so they just asked me to keep playing songs I'd written. And I only shared my music with my mom. So it was like, once I felt that, and then literally a month later, I went to Nashville and met Luke, and we started writing songs together. So it's all come together so quickly, but you just never know. You never know what'll happen.
Speaking of cinematic experiences, what you just described sounds like a movie. Like, who was that? That was my song. That was me. That's awesome. That is such a great memory and sort of moment to be like, yeah, I want to do this. That's
it'll always
awesome.
be a top 5 concert of my life, even though it was 10 people in a living room. Like, I'll never forget that, because it's just, you only have, what was that saying we were talking about? Like, it only happens for the first time, one time.
Yeah.
And so it's like that first time sharing your music with people and like getting an actual reaction of like, whoa, this is actually decent. Like it kind of, you can blend it into some John Mayer and Shawn Mendes and Charlie Puth songs, and somehow it still like can pull its weight. So anyway, I'm rambling on, but like, yeah, it was amazing. It was such an awesome experience.
And now I think asking people what their genre is or what they want to sound like is such a thing of the past. Music, artists, people do not fit into boxes. So I'll phrase it to you this way. What sounds do you like to combine when you make your music, or that you hope to combine?
Yeah, so this is actually like a very new thing for me in terms of finding sounds. And this is, I think it's cool for like people to know the backstory of like when we made this music video, Josh, the bridge of this music video is like, you got to go watch it. But when you watch the bridge, you'll see how impactful it is cinematically. And so we had already produced the song. We had the masters. I was about to upload it to like push it out. And Josh was like, hey, I think we could maybe mess around with the bridge, make it a little bit more cinematic, more Hans Zimmer, more like score sounding, because we're making a music movie. Yes. And I was like, sure, let's just give it a shot. And we put like more string sections in, more of those like very big brass, like orchestral drums. And so, you've heard the song, so like hearing it from that bridge. So I would like to characterize my music, hopefully, as this kind of new genre of pop where it's like cinematic pop, where like 10% of the production just has some Hans Zimmer in it. You know, just has some like very big band orchestral like elements to it. And the cool thing now is like you can literally do this stuff. We're lucky enough to do it in a bedroom. We don't have to go to a studio and hire 40 people to do an orchestra.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my hope. Like, I think that's new. I don't think too many people are doing that. And it matches with these music videos so well because of the congruency between the music and the cinematography. So
is that wanting to do cinematic pop? First of all, fantastic word and categorization. That's amazing. Do you hope to keep making masterpieces of videos like this continuing forward to fit that?
So one of my like my biggest influence, honestly, it's between two guys I can't choose, but John Mayer and Ed Sheeran. Like both of them, I just love what they've done over the years. And with Ed, he says like there's no genres to me. There's only two. There's bad and good music. And he's like, if people like it, then it's just good music. And I am in this mindset, like we're actually going to write some songs this weekend. We're doing this kind of writer camp thing together. And we're like, I know it's, January, but let's start writing music for the summer. And like, let's have some summer bops, which aren't really masterpieces. Like, you can't, maybe there's a little bit of cinematic pop you can sprinkle in there, but like, I want to make songs for any type of place you're in. So I think the majority, like what I'll be known for, hopefully, is the cinematic pop and those anthemic songs. But then also we'll have those fun songs that, are totally off the wall and not like characteristic of who I am. But I love all types of music. So it's hard. It's hard to pick one lane.
It's a good way to be. Yeah. So getting to talk to you today is really special because I feel like you are at a point in your career where you have a good feel of what you're doing, but you are going to go so far and you already have such a clear vision of where you want to go. And in the grand scheme of life, this is just the beginning. Let's right now make a little time capsule, okay? Cool. We're sitting here today, January 25th, 2023. What does Garrett Adair now want to say? You pick the time frame.
Cool.
Garrett Adair in however many years. What do you want to say to that artist in the future right now?
Well, I'll say it's hard to put like a timestamp on, but we were talking about how like even this project, I'm just going to say this right now. The video has 1,500 views, has like 18 comments. And I think the mindset that you have to keep, whether you're you're a radio producer or you're a director or you're a musician or whatever, like it's not about today. It's not about tomorrow. It's not about next week, next month, even next year. It's the longevity of your life. So I'm hoping 5-10 years from now, really all I care about is that enough people have connected to my music to where I can keep doing this full time. And, I can travel the world and play for shows. And it doesn't have to be stadiums. It doesn't have to be theaters. Like, I just want to be able to do this for the rest of my life because it's what I enjoy doing. So it's a pretty broad definition, but yeah, I just the fact that I get to do this every day, I'm just so blessed. And so I hope that 5 years from now, Garrett, or 10 years from now, Garrett is like, hey, you're still doing this thing. Like it's your job every day. So that's all I hope for.
Garrett Adair, everybody. Let's clap. It'll come up on the microphones and it'll sound really cool. Garrett, this is so cool. Your song Stars, it is out now. Everyone must check out the music video. Plug your director one more time.
Yes, Josh Gicker. He's going to be getting a lot more people reaching out to him because I don't think anyone in Nashville is making music videos like him.
So cool.
We're calling them music movies, by the way. Like
music
they're too cinematic
movies.
Just to be a video. It's a movie.
I love that. Garrett, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yay.
Appreciate it.